Within just 6 minutes, 7 steel layers of an American cargo ship in the Arabian Sea were breached. 2 RPGs exploded in the storage hold, containers burst into flames, and the laughter of Somali pirates echoed as if they had stumbled upon a treasure in the middle of the ocean. On July 11, 2025, a heavily armed group of pirates launched a surprise attack on the MV Atlantic Resolve, a U.S.-flagged transport vessel carrying over $18 million worth of cargo. 5 high-speed skiffs shot out from a disguised mothership, forming a tactical formation, closing in at nearly 30 knots, unleashing a rain of PKM machine gun and AK rifle fire into the hull, then climbing aboard with rope ladders, breaching doors with hammers and grenades. They believed this would be a quick raid, a grab-and-go operation. What they didn't know was that just 80 nautical miles away, the USS Truman, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier with over 75 fighter jets, was receiving their distress signal and shifting its entire formation to combat readiness. And when the first Super Hornets took off, the only thing left on the surface of the sea was smoke, fire, shattered skiff wreckage, and a message that the entire East African region would remember for years to come. Never point a gun at the American flag, not even once. If you believe this story deserves to be widely shared, please like, share with friends, and subscribe to the channel to always stay updated with the most authentic and dramatic military videos. A raid from the calm sea. July 11, 2025, a seemingly tranquil Friday in the Arabian Sea. The 210-meter-long U.S.-flagged transport ship MV Atlantic Resolve silently cut through the waves in the bustling maritime corridor east of Somalia. On deck, sailors were preparing for their day shift, a few checking containers filled with goods from Jebel Ali Port, UAE, a shipment comprising 30 tons of civilian and military electronic components, estimated at nearly 18 million. Unbeknownst to them, 12 nautical miles to the southeast, a mothership, the Jalil Star, disguised as a fishing vessel, was broadcasting a false AIS signal, simulating a route to Berbera, Somaliland. On board were 8 men, not fishermen, but predators, Somali pirates with links to Al-Shabaab, armed with AK-47s, PKMs, and old RPG-7 launchers. 2 high-speed skiffs were launched from the mothership, each fitted with 75 HP Yamaha engines, easily accelerating to 30 knots. They carried no flags, no radio communication, only one objective: the American ship carrying assets worth an entire year's income for a Somali province. At 9:42 a.m., radar watch on the MV Atlantic Resolve detected small, fast-moving objects on the screen. The captain's reaction was textbook: activating the SSAS beacon, the Global Maritime Security Alert System, and ordering the bridge doors sealed, moving the entire crew into the Citadel Room, a reinforced armored sanctuary in the ship's midsection. But it was all too late. The first skiff approached from the starboard side, firing warning shots with a PKM, bullets piercing the hull, ricocheting off containers, creating loud explosions. The second skiff circled astern, firing an RPG-7 that struck the auxiliary equipment room, igniting the secondary fuel tank. 2 sailors attempting to secure the stern door were severely wounded by shrapnel. A total of 14 people were forced into the Citadel, while 3 were trapped on the upper deck. The pirates boarded using grappling hooks and folding ladders, cutting locks with power saws. In less than 11 minutes, they had seized control of the ship. One of them, the leader named Abdurrahman Hassan, ordered the destruction of all navigation and radio equipment. They searched for cargo, forcing 2 American engineers to open the cargo hold. A container with military telecommunication signal components fell from a crane during the search. Initial damages estimated at over $2.6 million. As they plundered, they filmed the act to assert dominance, sending videos to Telegram accounts to demand ransom $30 million, or the ship and crew will turn to ash at sea. However, what they didn't know was that the USS Harry S. Truman, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier conducting exercises less than 80 nautical miles away, had received the SSAS signal from the very first minute. The base wasn't far. It was well within reach of the FA-18E Super Hornets maintained on the flight deck, ready for launch. At 10:11 a.m., as the pirates celebrated their triumph on the MV Atlantic Resolve's deck, from above, the radar of a P-8A Poseidon reconnaissance aircraft had already locked onto the coordinates of both the mothership and the attack skiffs. The hunt had begun. Everything wouldn't just end on the sea. Everything would conclude, even on Somali soil. An unprecedented rescue plan. 10:12 a.m., July 11, 2025. The SSAS emergency signal emitted from the MV Atlantic Resolve, operating in international waters off the coast of Somalia, was received at the Combat Command Center of the USS Harry S. Truman CVN-75, as the aircraft carrier led a task group less than 90 nautical miles away. The combat alert system shifted to ThreatCon Delta. In just 30 seconds, an armed pirate attack was underway on the deck of a U.S. vessel. The target's human lives and tens of millions of dollars worth of cargo. As soon as the position of the mothership, a disguised fishing vessel codenamed Skiff Origin 1, and the two armed skiffs were confirmed, the entire command system on the USS Truman transitioned to actual combat status. Satellite images from KH-11 Block 4, along with real-time data from a P-8A Poseidon reconnaissance aircraft, showed signs of violent conflict on the cargo ship's smoke rising from the aft compartment, large-caliber bullet impacts on the hull from multiple angles, and traces of high-heat explosions indicating at least one RPG warhead had been used. In that moment, the combat command team needed no further confirmation. A parallel operation, both rescue and retaliation, was activated under the codename Trident Response. The USS Truman began maneuvering its entire task group ahead, was the cruiser USS Normandy CG-60 with its Aegis air defense system. On the starboard flank was the destroyer USS Ross DDG-71, and astern was the logistics ship USNS Medgar Evers TAK-13 providing fuel and weapons. Fighter Squadron VFA-81 Sunliners was ordered to prepare 6 FA-18E Super Hornets. Their armament included 2 AGM-65E Mavericks, 1 GBU-32 JDAM, an ANALQ-214 electronic warfare pod, an AAM-9X for close-range self-defense. Below deck, a U.S. Navy Special Operations team from Naval Special Warfare Command, previously deployed from the logistics ship during a training exercise, received orders to deploy. No one asked why. They were all too familiar with this situation, a U.S. ship under siege, and time not on the side of those trapped inside. Elsewhere, on the deck of the Atlantic Resolve itself, our 14 crew members remained barricaded in the steel citadel room near the ship's center. The bulletproof steel door, independent ventilation system, and separate LRIT communication all were activated within 3 minutes of the first explosion. A signal was sent via low-level satellite waves. We are surrounded. They have RPGs. Citadel is safe. That was the last message sent before the entire external communication system was destroyed with hammers and simple explosives. The pirate group on deck erected barricades using containers and steel frames, positioned PKM machine guns at both ends of the ship, and used RPGs as a tool for intimidation. Not to kill, but to negotiate. But what they didn't know was there's no negotiation when the US military gets involved. 11:19 a.m. After compiling sufficient data from intelligence sources, including Scan Eagle reconnaissance UAVs and thermal imaging from flare systems on MH-60R helicopters, the operation commander decided to launch a simultaneous counterattack. The first thrust rescue the crew at sea. The second thrust locate and destroy the pirate base on land. Data indicated a suspicious location near the coastal village of Garahad, eastern Mudug, Somalia. An abandoned salt factory showed signs of continuous movement of armed vehicles, including Toyota Land Cruisers fitted with DSHK 12.7mm heavy machine guns and disassembled Zu-23-2s. A sudden increase in heat was detected that morning, coinciding with the pirates' departure from shore. The target was codenamed Phoenix Alpha, a potential logistics support and hostage-holding base. The combat plan began to be divided. The first Super Hornet squadron would launch to create precise suppressive fire around the Atlantic Resolve, paving the way for the SEAL team to approach from the port side by MH-60S helicopter. Once the hostages were confirmed safe, the second thrust would be deployed, a direct airstrike on Phoenix Alpha with GBU-38 JDAMs from medium altitude, if a landing was necessary. A second special operations team would use CRRC boats to approach the target from Garahad's southwest shore, Estimated total cost over $21 million, just for the first 24 hours of the operation. For that amount, one could buy an entire fishing fleet in Somalia. But for the US military, that number was secondary. What mattered was that no one had the right to seize American citizens on international waters without paying a price. Super Hornets, machines carrying hope. Dusk draped over the waters off the coast of Somalia. The sun, obscured by blood-red clouds, seemed to signal the ocean's foreboding. On the USS Truman, the flight deck roared to life like a war machine preparing for battle. Each FA-18E Super Hornet, fueled with JP-5, growled like a beast ready to hunt, armed with 2 AGM-65E Mavericks, 1 GBU-32 JDM, and 2 AM-9X Sidewinders, prepared for any contingency. 8:16 p.m. The battle began. 2 Super Hornets led the formation, flying low beneath radar detection, using MCON emission control to remain unseen, 70 nautical miles away. The MV Atlantic Resolve was now a floating hulk, used by the pirates as a mobile hostage. They barricaded themselves on the upper deck, improvising defenses with metal shields and cargo containers. An MH-60R Seahawk helicopter circled in the distance, locating the sailors holed up in the Citadel room. 9:03 p.m. The opening strike. Super Hornet No. 01 locked onto the mothership, the Jalil Star, anchored 4 nautical miles away. An AGM-65E Maverick streaked down at 1 mile 150 km/h, piercing the stern and igniting the fuel tank. Flames erupted 30 meters high. The ship sank in just 11 minutes. Total estimated damage $1.9 million, including the ship, the 2 remaining skiffs, and their weapons and fuel. From the Atlantic Resolve, PKM gunfire sprayed wildly towards the helicopter. An RPG narrowly missed the MH-60R, but its ANAAR-47 infrared warning system detected it early. In response, Super Hornet No. 02 deployed a GBU-32 JDM, a pinpoint-accurate GPS-guided bomb. Its target the cargo deck where the pirate group was concentrated. The moment the bomb screamed down, a pirate looked up at the sky. His eyes, for the first time, held not contempt, but pure terror. The explosion slammed an entire block of containers into the sea. 6 pirates were neutralized, the remaining, in a panic, fled towards the port side, only to be met by a SEAL Team 4 assault from an MH-60S helicopter, rappelling down from the opposite direction. In a 4-minute firefight, there were no Special Forces casualties. 3 pirates were shot down. 2 survivors surrendered, hands trembling. Meanwhile, 90 kilometers away, on the coast of Garahad, at the Phoenix Alpha target, the second engagement began. 12:41 a.m., July 12th. Under the dim moonlight, SEAL Team 4 approached the abandoned salt factory from the west, supported by 2 Super Hornets overhead. A Scan Eagle UAV detected 2 Toyota Hilux pickups mounted with DSHK machine guns patrolling the front. One of the 2 was an ideal target carrying 6 pirates, near an ammunition depot. Super Hornet No. 03 opened its bay, launching an AGM-154 JSOW from 15,000 feet. The long-range glide bomb struck with a deviation of only 3 meters, more than enough to obliterate the entire vehicle, ammunition, and 4 guarding pirates. The other pickup sped away, but an MH-60R pursued it and destroyed it with a 7.62mm M134 minigun, a weapon previously used in Afghanistan. When the SEAL team entered the main building, only 3 pirates remained, 1 carrying an RPG and holding 2 American engineers hostage, taken from the ship hours earlier. The situation became tense. One small mistake, and the operation would fail. However, a SEAL sniper, using an MK-13 Mod 7 sniper rifle, aimed through a ventilation shaft, precisely identifying the hostage taker. A single, decisive shot through the forehead. The 2 Americans were safely extracted. Not a scratch. 3:05 a.m. The battle ended. The base was torched, the ammunition depot exploding for 27 minutes. Total pirate losses: 2 pickups, 4 heavy machine guns, nearly 1.2 tons of weapons and ammunition, an estimated $5.6 million. Operation Trident response was complete. Not a single American life lost. An absolute victory in terms of tactics, speed, and precision. As dawn broke, the Somali waves still crashed on the shore as usual. But beneath the surface, the scorched shipwrecks, delivered an undeniable message. If you mess with Americans, be ready to see the sky fall. The answer to those who dare to challenge. At 4:15 a.m. on July 12, 2025, on the aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman, darkness still lingered, mixed with the smell of smoke and dust from the recent battle. In less than 18 hours since the alert signal was issued, the U.S. Navy's Operation Trident response concluded successfully. No sailors died, and every pirate was neutralized. From the cargo ship Atlantic Resolve, the Special Forces team safely rescued 14 sailors, 3 injured individuals, 1 hit by shrapnel, 2 with mild smoke inhalation, were immediately airlifted to the hospital ship USNS Comfort, approximately 50 kilometers away. All survived. Meanwhile, the pirate mothership, destroyed by a Maverick missile, smoldered and slowly sank off the coast of Somalia, taking all weapons and criminal evidence to the seabed. On land, the Phoenix Alpha pirate base was eradicated. Drone imagery at 4:03 a.m. showed the salt factory now just a smoking pile of rubble, 2 armed pickups, an ammunition depot with AK-47s, artillery shells, RPG-7 grenades, and communication equipment were completely incinerated. The pirates' losses were estimated at over $8.3 million, not including human casualties. At a press conference 36 hours later in Bahrain, the U.S. Navy confirmed the resounding success of the operation. While they did not disclose tactical details, they stated that modern weaponry, such as FA-18E Super Hornet aircraft, MQ-9 Reaper and Scan Eagle drones, and precision bombs and missiles like the GBU-32 JDAM and AGM-65E Maverick were seamlessly employed. Notably, the Super Hornet, with its advanced radar and multi-weapon capability, led the attacks both at sea and on land. The total cost of weaponry, including 6 JDAM bombs, 3 Mavericks, and 1 AGM-154 JSOW, along with operational costs, amounted to approximately $27 million. As the Super Hornets returned to the carrier, the morning sun glinted off their fuselages. There was no applause or victory celebration, just the quiet satisfaction of a mission accomplished. The Indian Ocean remained blue, but for anyone who dared to confront the U.S. Navy, these waters were now lethally dangerous. All content above is simulated, hypothetical, strategic, and analytical in nature. It is not intended to incite violence, exhibit political bias, or provoke military action or war. The content solely represents our personal hypothetical simulations and analyses of potential scenarios. Any misinterpretations will not be accepted. We are not responsible for any interpretation or application derived from the video content. Viewers should exercise their own judgment, verify information, and consume content selectively. Thank you very much for staying with us until the end. If you are passionate about military affairs and enjoy analyzing and developing hypotheses, please stay with our channel. If you found this video interesting, please click like and subscribe so you don't miss any daily updates from us. Now, you can watch some of our latest and most popular videos currently appearing on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.